People think a stalker is someone you see, someone following you, watching you from across the street. But mine was different. For weeks, I had no idea someone had actually been inside my house. It started with small things. So small that I blamed myself every single time. One morning, my TV remote was on the kitchen counter. I figured I'd carried it there without thinking. A few days later, my bedroom closet was slightly open. I always closed it before going to bed. Still, maybe I'd forgotten? Then my toothbrush disappeared. I searched the entire house before finding it sitting on top of the washing machine. I lived alone, so there was no one else to blame. I laughed about it with my coworkers. Maybe you're just getting forgetful. I laughed too, but deep down, something didn't feel right. The first truly strange thing happened on a Tuesday night. I came home from work around 7. As I walked through the hallway, I caught a faint smell of cigarette smoke, but I didn't smoke. None of my friends smoked. The smell disappeared after a few minutes. I opened every window and forgot about it. Until it happened again. And again. Always when I came home. Never in the morning. Then my dog started acting strangely. Max was the calmest Labrador you'd ever meet. He loved everyone. But every evening he'd stop in front of the basement door. His ears would perk up. He'd growl. Not bark. Just growl. I never used the basement. It was unfinished except for a few old boxes and a water heater. One Saturday afternoon, I decided to clean it. I expected dust, cobwebs, and maybe a few spiders. Instead, I found something else. A half-empty bottle of water. It wasn't mine. The label was still cold. Someone had been there recently. I immediately searched the rest of the basement. Nothing. No one. The police came within 20 minutes and they searched the entire property. Every room, the attic, and the backyard. Nothing. One officer suggested it might have been left by a contractor months earlier. Maybe he was right. I wanted him to be right. But that night, Max refused to leave my bedroom. Around 2:30 in the morning, I woke up. Not because of a sound. Because Max was staring at the bedroom door. Completely still. His low growl filled the room. Then, footsteps. Very slow. Somewhere downstairs. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911 without making a sound. The dispatcher told me to lock the bedroom door and stay on the line. I could hear drawers opening. Cabinets. Then silence. The officers arrived in less than 5 minutes. They searched everything again. Still nothing. I started questioning my own sanity. Maybe fear had taken over. Maybe I'd imagined the footsteps. The next day, one of the responding officers called me. He asked an unusual question. "Do you have an attic access panel?" I did. It was in the hallway ceiling. The officers had looked up there but hadn't gone any farther because it appeared empty. This time they returned with a thermal camera. The attic wasn't empty. Hidden behind the insulation was a narrow crawl space that wasn't shown on the home's original floor plans. Inside, they found a sleeping bag, food wrappers, flashlights, phone chargers connected to an extension cord, and dozens of photographs. Every single one was of me. Some were taken through my living room window. Others showed me unloading groceries, walking my dog, or leaving for work. Then they found something that made my blood run cold. A notebook. It listed the times I usually left the house, the time I went to bed, what groceries I bought, who visited me, and even what I watched on television. Someone hadn't just been watching me. They'd been studying me. A fingerprint found on one of the water bottles matched a man with multiple prior arrests for burglary and stalking. He'd been secretly entering vacant homes while searching for places to hide after committing thefts. When he realized I lived alone and had a predictable routine, he decided to stay. Police believed he entered through an old exterior attic vent that had never been properly secured. Most nights, he remained hidden until I left for work. Sometimes, he came downstairs while I was gone, moving small things, eating food, and charging his phone. One detective told me something I'll never forget. "He probably moved your belongings simply to see if you'd notice." That sentence haunted me more than anything else. The locks were changed. The attic was sealed. Security cameras were installed around the property. The man eventually pleaded guilty to burglary, stalking, trespassing, and several other charges. I sold the house 6 months later. People still ask why. The answer is simple. Some memories don't stay inside a house. They follow you. Even now, if I can't find my keys for more than a minute, I don't laugh anymore. I check every room first.
I never thought of myself as someone who could be stalked. I wasn't famous. I didn't have a huge social media following. I worked a regular office job, grabbed coffee from the same cafe every morning, and walked the same route home almost every evening. Looking back, maybe that routine made it easy. The first thing I noticed was the guy in the gray hoodie. He wasn't doing anything strange. He just seemed to be everywhere. One Monday morning, he was standing outside the coffee shop when I arrived. On Wednesday, I saw him sitting on a bench near my office during lunch. Friday evening, I spotted him across the street while I waited for the bus. At first, I laughed it off because coincidences happen. But after 2 weeks, those coincidences started feeling impossible. One evening, I purposely took a different route home. Instead of turning left toward my apartment, I walked 3 extra blocks before cutting through a small park. When I looked behind me, there he was. Not close enough to scare me, just close enough that I knew he hadn't been there before. My stomach dropped. The next morning, I told myself I was overreacting, until I found a folded receipt tucked under my windshield wiper. Nothing was written on it, except today's date. That was it. No message, no threat, just the date. I threw it away, convincing myself someone was playing a prank. But then it happened again. Different receipt, different day, always today's date. I stopped posting on social media and I changed coffee shops. I even started leaving work through another exit, but it didn't matter. He still appeared, always watching, never approaching and never speaking. The silence somehow made it worse. Friends told me I should call the police. But what would I even report? A man looked at me. He walked behind me. It feels weird. None of that sounded like a crime. Then everything changed one Saturday afternoon. I was shopping for groceries when I saw him standing at the end of an aisle. He wasn't looking at the shelves. He was looking directly at me. For the first time, we made eye contact. He smiled. Not a friendly smile. Just enough to let me know he knew I'd noticed him. I left my cart and walked straight out of the store. Instead of driving home, I headed to the nearest police station. An officer listened carefully. He asked something I hadn't considered. "Have you kept any evidence?" I remembered the receipts. I had thrown most away, but one was still sitting in my car door pocket. They took it and they suggested something simple. Document everything. Every sighting. Every location. Every time. For the next 10 days, I wrote everything down. Photos whenever I could safely take them. The pattern became obvious. He wasn't randomly appearing. He somehow knew my schedule. The breakthrough came from my apartment building. Security footage showed him entering the lobby several times. He never tried to break into my apartment. Instead, he checked the names on the mailboxes. Police eventually identified him. He had previously stalked another woman who had moved away years earlier. He wasn't looking for money. He wasn't trying to rob anyone. He became obsessed with people who reminded him of someone from his past. Thanks to the security footage and the detailed log I'd kept, authorities were able to obtain a restraining order and later arrest him after he violated it by returning to my building. I moved a few months later. Not because I had to, but because I wanted a fresh start. Even now, years later, I still vary my routines. Maybe that's paranoia, or maybe it's just something you learn after realizing someone knew your daily life better than you did. The scariest part wasn't being followed. It was how long it took me to believe it was actually happening.
For more true stories based on real events, subscribe, like and join us for the next case where the truth proved far stranger and far darker than anyone imagined.